just 2 days, we can make it, I think, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, welcome to NATO headquarters, and thank you for being here. Bienvenue.
Welcome to the first Chiefs of Defence Military Committee session in 2026.
Allow me to start by welcoming for his first attendance to this committee as Chief of Defense of Slovenia, Brigadier General Bostijan Močnik. Let me also thank our two strategic commanders, Supreme Allied Commander Europe Secure General Grinch, and Supreme Allied Commander for Transformation, SACT, Admiral Pierre. Thank you for being here and for your command leadership. I would also like to acknowledge and thank the NATO International Staff civilian leaders whom I have invited to join us and whose perspective on our political and military alliance is so important. Ladies and gentlemen, the security picture at the start of 2026 continues to be extremely demanding. Russia's war against Ukraine continues. Instability and violence persist along NATO's southern neighborhood. Tensions also affect trade routes, energy flows, and security far beyond Europe and North America. Other malign actors continue to jeopardize global stability. And every day, we face cyber attacks, sabotage, coercion, and disinformation. New technology can spread these hybrid threats faster and make them harder to trace. But we have seen new efforts to bring peace in Ukraine, including initiatives led by the United States, and also the efforts to enable that peace through the Coalition of the Willing framework under the leadership of France and the United Kingdom, joined by many nations looking ahead to what Ukraine may need in the future. In the last year, I have personally witnessed the strength of the Ukrainians in their fight for freedom and sovereignty. And our support to Ukraine has grown stronger and more organized. Initiatives like NATO Security Assistance and Training to Ukraine and SATU, the Joint Analysis Training and Evaluation Center, JATEC, and the Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List, PEARL, to which many nations now contribute, are delivering more and more. In the last year, we have strengthened vigilance and action to protect our own countries, including the successful launch of Baltic Sentry and Eastern Sentry. And we have increased the number and size of our exercises. From a military point of view, these efforts demonstrate a modern alliance that can defend and deter from a 360-degree perspective. They also reflect the exceptional responsiveness and adaptability of ACO and ACT. And with the decision taken at The Hague last summer, all allies have agreed on increasing investment in defense. Our discussion today and tomorrow shall be guided, as always, by our shared responsibility to provide candid and unfettered professional military advice to NATO's political leadership, drawing on our technical expertise and experience, as well as the special responsibility of Charles in leading our forces in defense of our nations and citizens. We have a busy agenda today. We will begin with an act of remembrance, because our duty today is built on the sacrifice of others. We will then hear a secure assessment of readiness, deterrence, and defense, because deterrence comprises real forces, real plans, and real resolve. Right after, it will be the SACT turns to present his views on the future, including how we are speeding up the delivery of key capabilities, so our forces stay ready for today's threats and tomorrow's risks. During our two-day meeting, we will also focus on partnership, including the NATO-Ukraine Council, and engagement with the Indo-Pacific partners in Georgia, because security is global and interconnected, and our approach must reflect this reality. And we will also note our partnership with the European Union. As we face common threats, these partnerships makes us stronger. Allow me now a brief personal reflection. It has been a year since I had the privilege to chair this committee. After this time, I can testify to one main point. Cohesion is the key quality of this group. Yes, we do have differences, and that is normal in an alliance of democracies. But those differences can and do make us better. I therefore look forward to a very engaging and productive meeting. At this point, I'm happy to introduce a brief greeting from Secretary General Rutte. Although he could not be here with us in person today, he asked me to convey this message to you. Please.
Good morning, all. Let me start by thanking you for everything you do for our alliance, for your continued support, and for your true leadership in strengthening our deterrence and defense. Through you, I also want to thank all our troops serving under the NATO flag. They are doing such a remarkable job, keeping us safe across all domains. The launch of both Baltic Sentry and Eastern Sentry last year is testament to your ability to respond quickly, decisively and flexibly when required. CMC, Sarkeur and Sakti, Pino, Grinch and Pierre, you are doing an incredible job. We demand a lot of our military in these dangerous and unpredictable times, and you always successfully deliver. Thank you, and please keep up the excellent work. We are going to need it. The security situation and the strategic context demands our and your constant vigilance. Putin's war machine is churning out military equipment around the clock, and Moscow is testing us through airspace incursions, cyber attacks, sabotage and more. And it is not just Russia. China, Iran and North Korea fuel Moscow's war against Ukraine. These countries are preparing for long-term confrontation with us. At the same time, the threat from terrorism persists and instability remains rampant in NATO's southern neighborhood. So the dangers we face are clear, real and lasting, and we must remain prepared. We have come out stronger from the summit in The Hague last summer. Investments in defense are going up. We are accelerating defense production and innovation on both sides of the Atlantic so that you and your forces have what you need to protect us. This is good for our armed forces. It is good for our industries and businesses, and it is good for our collective security. You are all also doing a fantastic job in supporting Ukraine. But please use your influence to help your political masters to do even more. Look deep into your stockpiles to see what more you can give to Ukraine, particularly air defense interceptors. The time really is now. Many of you are also working hard under the leadership of the United Kingdom and France in the framework of the Coalition of the Willing. This is also very important in enabling peace in Ukraine. We are making solid progress. But clearly, there is a lot more to do across our agenda. So as we look to our summit in Ankara in July, it is imperative and urgent that we all deliver on our commitments. We need to clearly demonstrate increased investment in defense and ensure that European allies and Canada assume a greater share of responsibility for conventional deterrence and defense. We also need to ensure that NATO increases war-fighting readiness, including through enablement and sustainment. That we fully resource our plans, that we adapt our posture, and that we continue to update our approach to deterrence and defense. In doing so, we will also keep working closely with our partners across the world, because security is a team effort. Let's build on the bond between our nations and between our militaries. It's an incredible advantage. We must retain it. I wish you a good and productive meeting. And I look forward to keep working with you in the months to come as we prepare for our summit in Ankara. Thank you all.
Okay, many thanks to our Secretary General for this message. I couldn't agree more, especially when his remarks to the troops. This bridges to our next duty, our act of remembrance. We think of the men and women in uniform, those who serve today and those who served throughout the 77 years of our alliance, making it the strongest and most successful in the world. We think in particular of those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice or who suffer the physical and mental effect of service. We honor the soldier from Ukraine too, whose fight is our fight. We stand by your side. We think of all the families of the men and women in uniform who carry a heavy burden with quiet strength. We honor them all by staying united, staying ready, and doing our duty. Please, I invite you to stand for a moment of silence and respect. Thank you. Now, before we move into our closed discussion, allow me a final word through the media to the citizen of the Alliance. Security involves everyone. It is not only a matter for politicians or for the military of the 32 allies and these committees that represent them. It concerns every family, every community, and every workplace. That is why we need not only support, but real engagement from the more than 1 billion people we are committed to defend. We will now close the public part of this meeting and move into detailed, frank discussion among Chiefs of Defense.